Recording. Okay, Ernestine. So my name is Mr. Thomas Kilbasinski. I'm a doctoral student, University of Phoenix, and I have several questions for you as a leader. So,
Okay.
what can leaders do to inspire teams to perform to the best of their abilities?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I believe that as a leader, one of the ways that you can, push your team or inspire your team, for efficiency and productivity is, using the technique of delegation. And, you know, as a leader, you cannot do everything. And I've always hold on to this principle that as a leader, you don't build followers, you build leaders like you, because there will come a time when you might not be there to, do everything. But because you have built these people, because you have shown them how to go about things, because you have given them the chance to build capacity, they will be able to deliver as much or more than you did in your time. So it's very important that as a leader, delegation is an important approach to drive efficiency and productivity amongst your team. So I believe that's one way that I believe you can, build a better team. You can, you know, build a team that would drive efficiency, that would drive productivity, that will be able to produce a positive outcome for you and everyone. So yes.
Good answer. I like that. It's very detailed, very objective, and very straight to the point. Okay, let's all go on to the next question here. What challenges do you face in maximizing team performance? What actions do you take to evaluate these challenges?
Okay, please, can you come again? I didn't get that.
Sure. What challenges do you face in maximizing team performance? That's the first part of the question. The second part of it is,
Okay.
what actions do you take to evaluate these challenges?
Okay. One of the ways you can, when it comes to maximizing team performance, your challenges that could rise in the moment, you have communication barriers. These are, challenges one could face, communication barriers, lack of, clear goals. Some companies or some leaders or some managers, when they employ people, their employees or their team do not understand the goals and objective of that organization. So it becomes a problem. But when you define your goal as a leader, when you define your goals and your objectives to your team, they would know how to, they would follow, they would be aligned to follow those goals and objectives. They would be passionate to drive and see results from those goals and objectives. So these challenges are there. We have communication barriers, we have lack of clear goals, we have, interpersonal conflicts, and, differing work styles. And, as a leader, or the way you can maximize your team performance, is building interpersonal relationship with your team, also defining your goals clearly to them. Let them know what you stand for. Let them know your core values. Let them know your goals and objectives. Let them know what you're driving at so that they can be in tune, towards those goals. Also, fostering positive work culture, workplace culture is very important. As a leader, you have to create, a good workplace culture, a healthy workplace culture for your team. That way, it builds team bonding, it drives innovation, it drives productivity, it drives growth in your business as a leader. So, yes, that is the way that you can, maximize team performance.
You hit it right on the money. I can't say I had any more than that one. You did a very good job, very descriptive, very detailed. That's what you need to answer these type of questions. Okay, let's go on to the next one. What are the top 5 leadership skills for successfully building and leading teams?
Oh, great. Okay, for me, the top 5 leadership skills, one major one that I love so much, when people express it or when people show it off, is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is very important. As a leader, you must have emotional intelligence because challenges will come. People are different. You have to understand that people are different. People behaviors, people's reactions to challenges, to things are different. So, but how do you manage those emotions? It is through emotional intelligence, managing people's emotions, managing your own emotions. Because as a leader, if you don't understand your emotions, if you're not self-aware, if you don't know how to handle situations, it's going to affect other people. So as a leader, you have to, ensure that your emotional intelligence is in place. That way you'll be able to, manage situations. You'll be able to manage other people's emotions. And one important highlight in emotional intelligence is using your situational skill. There is something called situational skill. Situational skill, is the ability, to handle situations to achieve positive results. When challenges come, when you find yourself in a situation, how do you handle that situation to still achieve positive results? To emotional intelligence. And another skill is, building your analytical skills, your critical thinking skills. You're very important to have as a leader. As a leader, if you're not able to analyze issues, if you're not able to analyze, situations, it becomes a big challenge. If you're not a critical thinker, when you have a critical thinking skill, ability, it makes you make better decisions as a leader. So that is the second one. Then the third one is time management skill. We live in a world where just so many things we're driving at, just so many things we're trying to achieve all at once. But having the time management skill will help us, achieve those goals at the end of the day. So time management skills drives, it drives positivity, it makes you productive as a leader. You have to know how to manage your time, know how to manage the time of others, know how to manage the time of task. When a task is given or you have a work, a whole lot of workloads, you have to know how to break down your time so that you don't become overwhelmed. And by this, you're able to perform better. So that's the third one. Then the fourth one is very important, interpersonal skill. I cannot overemphasize on that. Interpersonal skill is very, very important. Having and building relationships, not just relationships, but building quality relationships with people is important. And interpersonal skill is not just relating with people. It is, building quality character, quality charisma, that people are able to, you're able to attract people to you. People are able to resonate with your type of person. It is important for you as a leader to have an interpersonal skill, because when you do, people are able to relate with you. People are able to understand you. People are able to, recommend you. People are able to talk to you. People are able to approach you. So interpersonal skill is very important as to have as a leader. So, and the fifth one, which is very important. I know that leadership comes with a lot of responsibility. a lot of responsibility, but a good leader and a purposeful leader is an accountable leader. It is one person, that person who is accountable, that person who is able to take responsibility for his decision or her decision. And when you're accountable, it makes you credible, it makes you authentic, it makes people see you as someone they can trust because they know, that you are an accountable person, you are a trustworthy person. So the fifth and most important skill that a leader should have is accountability skill. You have to be accountable, you have to be responsible, you have to take responsibility for your actions, you have to be accountable for people, for yourself, for your work, for your goals. So those are the five very important, leadership skills one must have to be seen as a good leader.
Very well. That was very extensive. I have to say, the last guy, he has a PhD background, and he didn't even answer the question that extensive. You definitely do have a lot of information, and I would definitely recommend you to check out MBA programs because if you only have a bachelor's degree, I mean, the sky's the limit. You have a bundle load of knowledge.
Thank you.
Yes, I mean, no problem at all. I mean, that's why I wanted to engage with you because you are definitely, like I said, the queen of I talk too fast sometimes. Innovation.
Yeah.
We all have our fasts and strengths and stuff of how we do things. We have all different types of skills that we can utilize, whether we're here in the USA or Nigeria or anywhere in the world. But we have to know how to use those skills. And LinkedIn is like the top platform of the century because everybody can connect, get jobs, and all this other different stuff. It really is amazing what technology can do and what how businesses are affected if there's not available technology to go get your talent or recruit or have an effective team skills. So, all right, well, that's very outstanding answer. Very good.
Thank you.
Yes. How do excellent leaders develop followship? FOLLOWER ship.
Okay. So you're asking how do you build fellowship as a leader, right?
Yeah, so it says basically how do excellent leaders develop followership?
Okay. Followership. Yeah. As a leader, the ways you can effectively and excellently build followership is by, doing the things you say you can do, because you have to understand that people follow actions, not words. We can hear the words, but when we are not seeing the actions, it creates a form of distrust between people, and people love it when, they see their leaders doing what they actually represent, doing what they actually speak about, doing what they actually stand for. If you say you're a leader of peace, and you're not a peaceful person, you're creating problems here and there, how do you expect people to follow you? How do you expect people, to resonate with you? How do you expect people, to see you as a trustworthy person? So this way, you have to understand that you have to be a man of your words. If you have to build followership, you have to be a man or a woman of your words. So that is one critical thing you have to consider. Encourage open communication. No man is an island. That is something you have to understand as a leader. No man is an island. You have to build or encourage open communication. Your opinions may be great, but one of the ways that you can build followership is allowing others to express their opinions, allowing others to express themselves, give them an opportunity, to express what they have, what they believe in, give people room to explore, give the people who look up to you, give them the room to explore, give them the room to grow. That is how you build followership. If you're too conservative, if you're too restricted, people won't want to follow you because they won't feel heard, don't feel seen. And no one wants to follow a person that would constrain them. No one wants to follow a person that wouldn't make them grow. So this is also something to consider. Then create shared goals. You have a goal. Are other people involved in your goals? This is the question you have to ask yourself if you are going to build followership. Are they involved in your goals? So you have to also create shared goals. Provide opportunities for your followers or your team members. Collaborate with them. Promote mutual respect. Have mutual respect for the people who look up to you. Also, active listening, not just speaking. Every time you're speaking and speaking and speaking, there is no room for others. You're not listening to other people's pinpoints. You're not listening to other people's complaints. It doesn't make you a good leader, and it doesn't build followership. So one of the ways that you can also build, followership is active listening. It shows empathy. It shows care for others. Recognize individual contributions towards your success or towards a particular goal. To build followership, you have to, recognize people. You have to recognize your followers. You have to give them their flowers for their contribution, for their success. And this can further strengthen, followership within a team or an organization. So yes, this is what I have to say.
You definitely pointed out a few key things I need to learn a little bit here. Sometimes we get frustrated and we post stuff that, like if there's a rival company, I'll say in your face, blah, 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 and rub it in. Because in the USA here, we have competitive markets. I noticed that the Nigerians don't do that. They help each other. They're all together as one. They don't have, I'm not saying they're perfect, but they have a better way of going about it. Like me, when I'm going against, we don't try to help each other. We just work against each other and we just compete. That's what we do. But what I've been learning over the last month or two is seeing these different posts. It's really amazing, including yours.
Yeah.
Just helping each other. There's quite a few on there that are well above me when it comes to trying to get followers. And I would tell you, running business, getting effective clients, yeah, I did that. But guess what? Now I'm trying to do it the harder way and getting it on LinkedIn because that was my small percentage, and then trying to get my books to be bought. And then all the and helping others as well, whatever I have wealth of knowledge that I have. So this is why I try to be open-minded and then try to be way more patient and be cool, calm, and collective, because this guy wasn't that way earlier. I mean, I would, if it was competitive and I lost one client, I would be all at it. But now it's like we can keep on moving forward and saying, hey, there's still hope out there. Just because I lose one client doesn't mean it's the end of the world. We just go on and move on to the next one. If they get clients because it be a certain thing, then it is what it is. So it's life for you. So, all right. Well, that was definitely an interesting answer there. So let's see here. There's a second to last question, and I'll try to read this as slow as possible because there's two different parts, actually three different parts.
Okay.
What are some important decision-making strategies that leaders might use? Which of these strategies do you feel is most effective and why?
Okay, you're saying what are some important decisions in making strategies, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Okay. The important decisions, in strategic leadership involves, identifying key priorities. So being strategic as a leader, you have to, identify key priorities. What are your priorities? What are your, key priorities? What are the things that you prioritize most? What are the things that you consider as a priority in your organization, in your community, whatever it is? What do you prioritize most? Is it team bonding? Is it growth? Is it community development? Whatever it is, what are your key priorities? So this is one, important decision you have to make as a leader, or strategic decision you have to make as a leader. Also, you have to, if you're in the business space, you have to evaluate market dynamics. And what are, market dynamics? You know, um, market dynamics are, refer to factors or forces that influence, the behavior of markets, including supply, demand, price, competition, consumer, and all of those things. So you have to identify, your market dynamics. If you're in the business space as a leader, adapt strategies based on changing circumstances. Whatever your strategies are, you have to adapt it to the circumstances in the moment. That way, it helps you, stay in line. It helps you not to lose out in a competitive space. So this is also one decision you have to make. Then effective communication channels. What are your effective communication channels? So you have to look, when you're making important decision in strategic leadership, you have to consider, your most effective communication channel. Is it through email? Is it through social media? Whatever um um effective communication channel you are going to use as a leader, that is something you have to consider. How do you pass your message to people? How do you let people know that this is who you are and what you stand for? Also, setting clear objectives. I've said that earlier. It's also, an important decision to consider in strategic leadership. Setting clear objectives. Let your objectives be clear. Let it be well defined and detailed. So, regularly reviewing and adjusting the strategy, is crucial for long-term success. Whatever strategy you have put in place, you have to regularly, review. Are they still in line, or is there need for improvement? That way, you build a long-term success for your organization, for your team, or for yourself or your community. So yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, it makes total sense. What you're saying is making total sense. It sounds like you got well, let's just say abundant amount of experience for your age, dealing with different situations for sure. I mean, it's amazing how, yeah, I mean, I had experience probably around your age, but not as much as this. Not as much. You got definitely a lot more knowledge at your age than what I did, probably at that age.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I was in a PhD program and I was master's, but that's because you're in a different program does not mean that you know it all, because that's I'm
Mhm.
saying. I had 4 different degrees. I should add about 6 different degrees, but what I'm learning as of late is trying to be as much open-minded instead of being what do you want to say, Stonewall Jackson
Mhm.
blockheaded, so to speak, a little bit, with just learning new techniques of doing stuff like going on YouTube and doing videos and introducing
Mhm.
myself I'm just going out there and doing what I need to do instead of just handshakes and stuff like that in person, word of mouth. Trying to do as much as I can online, so it's all remote, not traveling, but also, I mean, try to do what I can. It is what it is.
Mm.
So that was definitely a very good response, and I appreciate your response on that. I got one last question here. What are some ethical concerns faced by leaders? How might you deal with these ethical concerns?
Okay, ethical concerns. Okay, of leaders actually often, they face ethical concerns, and these includes, what are ethical concerns? First of all, we have transparencies in issues, ethical concerns like transparency, integrity, fairness, these are, you know, things that make better decisions, or help you make better decisions as a leader that impact people. So some of these ethical concerns, um some leaders some leaders lack them, or they are not, they don't project enough of this ethical attributes that people you know look forward in seeing them display, or seeing them showcased. So as a leader, I know that sometimes you get overwhelmed with challenges. Sometimes, your team members are not performing. Sometimes situations and factors contribute to these issues, factors that include social issues. So, but how are you able to address, these concerns? How are you able to minimize, issues of lack of integrity in your organization? How are you able to, build transparency, let people know that you're not hiding anything? This is who you are. This is what you stand for. This is what you advocate for. There's a popular adage, or a popular saying that say, he who comes, for justice, or he who desires justice, must come with a clean hands. You cannot desire justice if your hands are not clean. If you're not, if you're not innocent, if you lack integrity, you won't get the justice that you need. So same applies to every leader. How do you, show integrity in whatever you're doing? If your business stands for peace, let your business stands for peace. If your business stands for growth, let your business project growth. So these are some of the ethical concerns that, leaders face. And also the common dilemmas that include making decisions that impact stakeholders, maintaining confidentiality. As a leader, how do you protect people's data? How do you protect people's, personal identifications? And, how do you help people trust your ability, to protect them, to protect their data? How do you ensure data privacy if you're running a company or an organization that involves, customers' informations and data? So this is also one ethical concerns that leaders need to address. Avoiding conflict of interest. As a leader, you have to avoid conflict of interest. Conflict is inevitable. As humans, we disagree. We have different notions and perspective towards things, which may not go well all the time. But how how well you manage conflicts, how well you build teams in spite of the conflict that may rise, shows the quality of your leadership. Also, ensuring honest communication. As a leader, yes, sometimes you have preferences, sometimes you have sentiments, but it is important to note, that ensuring honest communication should be your end goal at the end of the day. So leaders must navigate these challenges with a commitment to ethical behavior, also considering long-term consequences. What are the consequences that you're going to face if you don't show integrity, if you don't show transparency, if you're not fair to the people around you? If there is no fairness, if there is no transparency, you also have to know that there are consequences for that. And that could be reputational damage. That could be paying fine. That could be, having issues with people. So considering the long-term consequences of your action on both yourself, your organization, the people around you, is something to consider, is something to take seriously. So these are the, some of the ethical concerns and, ways to navigate or minimize the consequences that comes with them. Thank you.
Very good, very good. So the thing is, like what you're talking is not to burn bridges, basically, because you want to have all the connections you want. And I'll tell you what, I mean, sometimes when things did not go my way, there's things that you have to be open-minded to, no matter how much education and stuff like that, because there's always somebody better than you out there on certain things. And for me, I'm so independent on myself sometimes that I mean, it's just one of those things. I've just been self stubborn, I guess you could say. So I mean, but we learn from each other, and it's one of those things like other things. I got another question for you. I'm just curious. What exactly do you do in Nigeria for a job? Because it says you use the word vendor. What exactly do you do?
Okay, are you asking me what I do in Nigeria?
Yeah, like your job.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I work for an international organization that is into real estate, a real estate company. We offer facility management services, we offer technological services, we offer hospitality services. We, drive workplace solutions and customer experience. So I work as a community host, and our clients, we have various clients that we offer these services to. We have clients like Amazon, we have clients like Facebook, we have clients like Standard Chartered Bank, and that is the client that I work with. I work with Standard Chartered Bank. We offer facility management services and hospitality workplace experience innovation. That is what I do. So I am a community host, and my job is to ensure that I drive innovation and also meet client expectation beyond and above. So yeah.
Very great. Awesome. I mean, I'm very impressed with your background because you answered all those questions. I mean, I'm not just blowing smoke here, okay? I mean, I had
Thank
interviews in
you.
my books too. I mean, and I'm telling you, I'm just sitting there shaking in front of 800,000 viewers on TV and just trying to figure out what to say. And I did, but it was, let me just say, it's not the easiest thing. Like for you to come up and interview with somebody like a 700,000 miles away, and
Hmm.
if you just took the offer just like that and you said, yeah, that's good. And I like that. I like when people aren't afraid to chance it and stuff like that. And this makes it look better, because you get out there, and then I'm starting to try to start something here, even with the doctoral program that I'm in. So that's very interesting. I'm surprised that you're only a community host because you seem like you could run your own business. I mean, you know,
Yeah, I get that a lot. I get that a lot. And a lot of people tell me, "Oh, Ernestine, you can be a consultant. You can, consult
Right.
for businesses." And sometimes when I get those comments, I feel I ask myself, are you sure that you have this capacity for, well, um, like you just said, you like it when people are bold to take steps. Yeah, I have tried businesses. I have tried going into businesses. In fact, I have laid my hands on different businesses, some that I have failed in, some that I have at least achieved some, success in them. But however, I am going for knowledge, and I will always go for knowledge because I know that, I have something inside of me, you know, that when I, get hold of, knowledge of what it takes to be that person that I have been designed to be, I know that I'm going to just go all out, and that is what I look forward to. That is what I look forward to. Yeah.
So the last person I just interviewed had something in relation to what you were just saying, but
Mm,
I'm gonna put it on the top here. When you fail, you do not fail. You keep on going,
mm-hmm,
succeed until you giving up is failing. You keep on
mm,
going and striving and doing what you're doing. If everybody was doing it, it would be easy. That's why everything
mm-hmm,
in this world is a challenge.
mm-hmm,
It's like when I first got this project this week, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I gotta interview people. So I was like, but then I was like, look, I'll flip it all the way around. Look at the interviews that I did, 3 different interviews. And they were, they weren't easy, but they got done. So it's like doing this is being straightforward and stuff like that, giving feedback. I'm going to definitely tell you that I've done hiring and firing people, and you could definitely do consulting. I mean,
mm,
yeah, the postings are absolutely wealth of knowledge, a blessing to other people that don't have that knowledge, and
mm.
you'll get the support. You'll definitely get the support. Um, you definitely
Thank
had.
you.
I know we hardly know each other, but you definitely got me. You definitely have me on this because I look at those posts, I look at your posts, and other people's posts. I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is something I should do because if I want to
Mm,
start a business myself, I can't go and say call people names or call people, even though it's something. If I'm disagreeing with somebody or getting into an argument over the phone, somebody and just start ranting at them because something wasn't done right. There's a better approach to it than just that's all the thing is. That's what I've been doing the last 2 months here. I've been really flabbergasted with how not just the Nigerians, but other certain people on here just know how to work together. And when there's something wrong, they work together to work it out in a peaceful way. There hasn't been one argument on here that I've seen between people. They all try to discuss it professionally, peacefully. It's not like an Instagram or Facebook shout out or somebody, you know, it's just drama. That's why I like to stay on LinkedIn because LinkedIn's way more peaceful than the other thing when I'm doing business. So
mm.
that's it in itself. We all go through stuff in life. Nothing's perfect in the U.S. either because I mean we go through rough stages there, but in your country, I'm sure it's the same way. You're trying to make
Yeah.
it and it's tough. Sometimes at certain days, and then some days
Mm-hmm,
it's easy. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yep, yep. I definitely appreciate your time. Very, I definitely do appreciate your time. You are
You're
definitely
welcome.
one. Let's just put it like this. I'm just careful. You're one talented Nigerian queen innovator. I want to say that you are one talented queen. For sure.
Thank
I'm very
you.
straightforward. Sometimes my straightforwardness gets me into trouble, but I mean, it's just how it is. I'm glad you took the, I'm glad, I mean, because I tried everybody. There was alternates down the list. Some of the Nigerians wanted to interview, but they couldn't make the time happen. So I'm glad you at least had the time to do that because now I see where you come from on certain things and where American standpoint stands. And I'm going to say this that the interview that I had with the other guy was way shorter than this one. This was more incentive. This was more, I guess you could say breathtaking because you know a lot about this. Obviously, you've been reading books or something or done a lot of research. Because I'm going to tell you what you could do. I mean, you could do PhD business type stuff, I would think, because it's just, I'm just saying, it, don't let somebody tell you that you can't. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, yes.
You know, and if there's some way I need your services or something, I will definitely hit you up on that.
Thank
Right now I have other people that I've hired to do other stuff. So, but if my budget opens a little bit more, maybe I could use you somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Because it's just one of those things where expenses come in and it's like, you gotta be careful. So, but I mean, this definitely has been well worth my time, and I appreciate your time, Ernestine. And I hope you have a great evening in your country, and maybe we'll talk some more. Sure.
you.
All right. Well, have a great evening, and I'm going to end this meeting. And thank you for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
No.
I appreciate you too.
Thank you. Bye.